Wow, I'm pretty late to the party, but recently over the weekend, one of the biggest events in California occurred, and it's San Diego Comic-Con. And that's the big event for comic books, big comic book movies, anime, all that crazy stuff. I'm gonna get this out of the way because I'm a big Marvel guy. Marvel, Kevin Feige, I said it right? I didn't butcher the name. Got some announcements out of the way. Nothing about the sequel to Avengers, but we have our official names for the next two Captain America and Thor films. Thor: The Dark World. That is stupid. But I'm talking about the title, not the movie, obviously. It just sounds really weird out of context. And Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And if you're a comic book fan, which I won't spoil anything obviously, but the Winter Soldier arc, it's awesome. Also, Edgar Wright, who's been working on this particular movie for like 5 years now, Ant-Man, showed some test footage. And I am really jealous of everybody in Hall H who saw the footage. Heard it was awesome. And I can't wait for this movie. I would presume it's coming out in 2015, or maybe even a late 2014 release, who knows. But, could be cool. Also, they announced the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Now, in all honesty, I do not know about Guardians of the Galaxy too much, if at all, really. But I'm really excited by the concept of it. I mean, it's basically Avengers in space. It's all intergalactical. It could be like a space opera. And it ties into Avengers 2 because Thanos is going to be very heavily involved in this movie. The funny thing, though, is that one of the characters in this Guardians of the Galaxy film is a raccoon. And his name is Rocket Raccoon. I mean, if they could pull this off, by all means, I will give a round of applause. But a live-action raccoon, CGI, talking, shooting at things, your move, Marvel. And finally, the last thing from Marvel, the big thing, coming out next summer, Iron Man 3. So Shane Black is taking the throne as director's seat for this film. Jon Favreau is still in the movie, but he's letting somebody else take the baby. Apparently, the footage there was great also. It showed a lot of chaos regarding Tony Stark's house being destroyed. The Extremis storyline in the comics where Tony Stark has the armor on him, literally. Nanotechnology or something like that. And Ben Kingsley, who we've been wondering who he's been playing, is announced finally as the Mandarin. Kind of obvious, but still exciting nonetheless. I mean, they've been teasing the Mandarin for the last 2 movies now, so it was obvious that they were going to end this 3-part trilogy, even though there's going to be more Iron Man movies. This 3-part trilogy with the Mandarin, it had to happen. Going to Warner Brothers, really highly respected director, Guillermo del Toro. I butchered that first name, but I love you anyway. So Del Toro showed off some footage from Pacific Rim, and if you don't know what Pacific Rim is, it's basically an Americanized Godzilla, which is kind of funny because I'll get to that in a second, but it's really giant monsters that are bigger than buildings against giant robots that are us, the good guys, bigger than buildings, and they're larger than life, hundreds of stories tall, and they're clashing on each other. It sounds like perfection for popcorn summer movies. Del Toro is a mastermind visually, and I'm telling you, I'm really jealous of people in San Diego who were in Hall H2 for that film, because apparently it blew everybody's minds off. It was also said that they're going to go into a media blackout for the next half of the year, so we're not going to see a trailer for this movie until Christmas or 2013. And then immediately after that, they showed off a concept trailer for Godzilla, being directed by Gareth Edwards, I believe. And this movie's been in development for a couple of years too, but nothing really came out. But finally they released something. And this movie's supposed to come out, which I suppose for a 2014 summer release date, which isn't that far away. But it is that far away. And apparently this movie's going to be very gritty and realistic and, quote-unquote, what would actually happen if a monster invaded the world, New York City. I'm a giant Godzilla fan, and I am stoked for this movie. They released a poster. I need a trailer though. I need a trailer so I could like crap my pants and just go crazy. And I have a friend out in Arizona who's a big fan of Godzilla as well, and he's shitting his pants at the name. At the name. Oh, I can't wait. And then finally, they showed some stuff in a trailer for Man of Steel being directed by the slow-mo perfectionist Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill, who plays the Man of Steel, Clark Kent, Superman himself. And apparently it's very epic in the sense of a Batman Begins thing, where it's sort of a setup for bigger things to come. But, I mean, there hasn't been a great Superman movie since the original Richard Donner film with Christopher Reeve. And I've seen that movie, and it's kind of gotten a little dated. It's a little outdated. As great and as iconic as Christopher Reeve is, we need a really, really good modernized Superman movie. And if this movie could be that movie, color me ecstatic. And maybe, just maybe, we could have villains that are not Zod or Lex Luthor in the future, if this movie's successful as well. I mean, is it that much to ask for, like, Darkseid or Doomsday or Brainiac or somebody who's not Lex Luthor? So this is my short take on San Diego. So this is my short take on San Diego Comic-Con's big events and news stories. Since I live in New York, I will definitely be covering New York Comic-Con in October. I'll be going for all 3 days. You can expect a lot of coverage and videos from that. I mean, I went last year and I saw the Avengers panel. Great, great memory right there. So, yep, I'm John from Mothman Jones Reviews. This has been some news coverage on, well, very subtle and vague news coverage, but news coverage nonetheless on that. Signing off.